allow Senator Karunthangwa to give his contributions, I've got a communication to make. This is a message from His Excellency the President on the nomination of Mr. Gerald Nyaoma Arita for appointment to the position of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 47, I received a message from His Excellency Honorable William Ruto, PhD, CGH, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, on the nomination of Mr. Gerald Nyaoma Arita for appointment to the position of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. The message was transmitted to the Senate via a letter reference EOP/CAB.26/4A, volume V/13, dated 11th of November 2024, by the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, Mr. Felix Keikoskei, EGH. Pursuant to Standing Order 47.1 of the Senate, I shall now report the message to the Senate. You are most graciously notified that His Excellency the President has, in exercise of the prerogative vested in the head of state and government, caused the nomination of the candidate, the position of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. In that regard, and pursuant to Section 13B of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Cap 491 of the Laws of Kenya, we submit to both Houses of Parliament the presidential nomination of Mr. Gerald Nyaoma Arita for appointment as the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. To aid Parliament in its consideration and approval processes, we convey herewith the Certificate of Presidential Nomination, number 6 of 2024, alongside the nominees' curriculum vitae and testimonials, together and the report of the Public Service Commission on the recruitment of the nominee. In recognition of the pivotal role played by the Central Bank of Kenya in steering the nation's monetary policy and ensuring economic stability, we humbly request that the nomination be considered with the utmost priority. End of quote. Honorable Senators, Section 13B1 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act provides that there shall be 2 deputy governors who shall be appointed by the President through a transparent and competitive process and with the approval of Parliament. In relation to this, Section 3 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act states that, and I quote, an appointment under the Constitution or any other law for which the approval of Parliament is required shall not be made unless the appointment is approved or deemed to have been approved by Parliament in accordance with this Act. As such, therefore, Section 8 of the same Act provides that unless otherwise provided in any law, a committee shall consider a nomination and table its report in the relevant House for debate, and the decision within 14 days from the date on which the notification of nomination was given in accordance with Section 5. And sub 2, at the conclusion of an approval hearing, the committee shall prepare its report on the suitability of the candidate to be appointed to the office to which the candidate has been nominated, and shall include in the report such recommendation as the committee may consider necessary. Honorable Senators, the period on the matter that is now before Parliament starts running upon the speakers of the Houses of Parliament committing the name of the nominee to the relevant committee in the Senate and in the National Assembly, respectively. Standing Order 77.1 of the Senate Standing Orders provides that upon receipt of a notification of nomination for appointment to a public office under the Constitution or any other legislation which requires approval by the Senate, the nomination shall stand committed to the relevant standing committee for consideration. This being the case, the message from His Excellency the President, together with the curriculum vitae of the nominee, stands committed to the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget for approval hearing. The committee will hold the approval hearing jointly with the Departmental Committee on Finance, Planning and Trade of the National Assembly in accordance with the provisions of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, and the Standing Orders of the Houses of Parliament. Part 26, This is joint committees of Parliament of the Senate standing orders and the corresponding part of the National Assembly standing orders shall apply during the approval hearing. I direct the committees to expeditiously consider this matter and to table a report thereon, considering the remaining time before the conclusion of the third session. I thank you. Signed by the Honorable Speaker of the Senate.